Going to be your midlife astrology transits that play a major role how those things can show up in your life. I discuss a lot about perimenopause and menopause and with a focus on women, but this goes for men and women and everybody who identifies as a human being. We all will go through these specific transits at different times in our lives. I wanted to start this journey today with the very youngest ones of those midlife transits, as you will, beginning as early as your early to mid 30s. And these are setting up the stages for the ultimate midlife transit, or the classic one as we know, the Uranus opposition. That being said, let's go ahead and jump into the first one. These will be in chronological order. Make sure that you're saving these so that you can come back and visit them when you're in those age range. Now, this isn't a fearmonger, this isn't for anything like this. Astrology is meant to be used as a tool for timing in your life to help you understand the whys and what that can look like. This is all based off of where these placements are in your own chart. What happened for me or somebody else can show up very differently depending on where these placements are in your chart, not only the house, but also the sign, and any aspects that these transits and that these planets are in. So please keep that in mind before we dive in. Let's get started. Let's do a little introduction. My name is Cosmic Jessica. I am the creator and founder of the Cosmic Wellness Method. After over 20 years of studying different health modalities as well as spiritual modalities, I have combined these together as a really great way to help you navigate through midlife and beyond. Let's open up with the Saturn square. This is a checkpoint. Now, mind you, Saturn is going to either oppose or square itself every 7 years. So every 7 years is a checkpoint for you. So keep that in mind. And this first Saturn square, that is very important, happens after your first Saturn return. Between the ages of 29 to 31, depending on where your natal Saturn is placed, that's when you experience your Saturn return. Now, the Saturn square is going to be 7 years after it. That first square can look like anywhere between the ages of 35 and 36. And mind you, there's a buildup, there's an exact, it is the aftermath. First Saturn square is going to be a checkpoint for you along your life, how those different changes you've implemented in your life during your Saturn return are working out for you. Did you make plans that are maybe not going along the trajectory that you wanted? Did you get married and now you have a 7 year itch? You're realizing that you don't want to be married to this partner because your fundamental values aren't aligned, or you're ready to start a family. You see what I mean? These are very big life changes that come into play during your Saturn square. This is going to be, like I said, from the ages of 35 to 36. That's when things start happening. And you start questioning, has all the work and all of the lessons that I learned during my Saturn return, how have they come to fruition? Where have I shirked my responsibilities? Where have I lacked on my discipline? And where am I starting to see the rewards if I was very disciplined and I was very structured how I wanted to obtain my goals? This may look like during perimenopause from the ages of 35 to 36, you're starting to see a decline in your estrogen and your neuroprotection. So you might start dealing with a lot of fear and anxiety. I know for myself, from the ages of 35 to about 45, I woke up every single night in the middle of the night with sheer panic of what the fuck I was doing with my life. This is a very normal thing, okay? If you're experiencing this, this is normal. One thing that I want to note is that Saturn is a heavy energy. This energy comes with a lot of fear and worry and anxiety inherently. So when you're going through a 7 year an activation of either your Saturn opposition, your Saturn square, or your Saturn return, these are times that tend to be very heavy with a lot of fear, pressure, anxiety. The purpose of this is that Saturn likes to materialize things. It hardens things into a diamond, if you will, through the pressure that it applies in that area of your life where Saturn is in your chart. Now, if it's in an opposition, it's going to be opposite to the sign that your natal Saturn is in. Square is going to be 90 degrees of in the sign that it's in, creating a square. The first one that introduced us into our series of midlife transits that show up and how we can navigate them through perimenopause and menopause, as well as just normal midlife experiences. If this resonates with you, I'd love to hear. If you are between the ages of 35 and 36, I'd love to hear how this is showing up for you and what kind of lessons have you applied during your Saturn return that you're now revisiting during your Saturn square.